Let's move on now to our next thing here. So, speaking of horror movies, my friends, we got some crazy stuff going on here. So, all right, let's talk about it. Let me see here. Freddy, jeez, Louise, pumpkin cheese. Freddy Krueger. Let's get into it, my friends. You saw it in the title, in the thumbnail. Now, I've mentioned this before. Freddy Krueger is my number one favorite horror icon of all time, all right? It goes Freddy Krueger, Ghostface, Chucky, Michael Myers, Jason. That's just off the top of my head. That's where it goes. Either way, Freddy Krueger was my first love into the genre, and I have been dying for a new movie. So anytime there is a small whiff of a new movie up and coming, I'm a dig in there, buddy. I'm a get in there like I'm going for gold. I'm going to investigate and sniff the crap out of it. And so that's what I'm doing here for you guys. I'm going to tell you up top, you might consider this clickbait, but let me convince you. We got some news of what looks like possibly a new Freddy Krueger movie in the works. And if not, it's a new horror movie up and coming. So some context for you. The last time we talked about A Nightmare on Elm Street was in August of last year. This is from One Take News, very reliable source. But the reason we talked about Nightmare on Elm Street then is because in August of last year, we heard that the Wes Craven estate, who owns the rights to Freddy Krueger now, not really a studio, they have been shopping the rights to different studios, seeing who can make a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie or TV show. And TV show is a possibility. You know, Michael Myers getting a TV show, Scream possibly getting a TV show, Chucky's got a TV show. They're all getting TV shows. But what we want is a movie, right? And this is what we had last heard here. So it says here, there have been rumors of the Wes Craven estate family given in and that a bidding war secretly took place among the studios for the rights of Nightmare on Elm Street in the month or two. We at One Take News have only heard of these rumors and have been able to corroborate at this time of writing. The rumor states Blumhouse won the rights to Elm Street and they'd be developing a new movie, okay? And they even had an update here that says a source has reached out to One Take News and corroborates the rumor of a bidding war for Nightmare on Elm Street occurred earlier this year. We will update this article. So again, take it with a grain of salt. It never got 100 officially percent confirmed, but that's the last we heard, right? Is that they were shopping the rights and Blumhouse won it. And so then we got this article today that I was like, oh, okay. Well, not this article, but we got this photo. Let me pull out the photo. This is from Lee Cronin. Let me get here. Lee Cronin, you might know as the director of Evil Dead Rise, one of my favorite horror movies of last year. I thought it was really well done. It showcased what you could do with the Evil Dead franchise, and this was a movie that was going to go straight to streaming, but it went to theaters and it made a good amount of money to now where we're getting 2 new Evil Dead movies, and the universe continues on. So he posted this, April 17th, 2026, and he scratched out the title. And I immediately thought, okay, I like Lee Cronin because Evil Dead Rise was amazing. And I remember in interviews when I was researching stuff for Evil Dead Rise, he would say, I like A Nightmare on Elm Street and I want to make a new Nightmare on Elm Street. So that's where my head got planted onto it, right? And then I go to the article with the statement, and this guy, he's dropping them hints, okay? I know he's dropping them here. He says here, so this new movie that we don't know the name of is going to be in collaboration with James Wan's Atomic Monster and Blumhouse at New Line Cinema. This New Line Cinema part is very important because technically they still have the rights to Freddy Krueger. What I meant when I said the estate owns them, the Wes Craven estate does own them, but internationally, New Line Cinema owns it. So if they want to make a movie, it's smart that they just partner back up with Warner Brothers at New Line Cinema because that way they can get the domestic release and the international release. It would be really hard if they went with Universal and only released the movie in the US and then Warner Brothers got to release it in China and all these other markets where it could also make money. So that was the important part there. And then we go into the statement. It says here, this is what Lee Cronin said. Collaborating with Jason, James, and the wonderful team for these 2 storied and massively successful organizations is what perfect, say that word with me, nightmares are made of. Getting to return to New Line Cinema and my wonderful partners over there is the cherry on top. I'm no lawyer. I've never been to law school, but this is where I would say, Judge, I rest my case. Free my client, buddy. Okay, I'm obviously stretching. Broke open. You're so right, Jacob. Broke open hard, and you are so right. But it's because that's how badly I want a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. You're telling me in the couple of words you chose to talk about this, you chose the word nightmare in there, buddy. Come on now. You know you're messing with me there. Now, obviously, again, I know I'm stretching, and Jacob is 1,000% right. Bro, nightmare. All right. But then it goes even a little further. So then we had Jason Blum say this. Jason Blum then commented on it, saying this. He has an intriguing modern take on something quite ancient, and I think audiences will love it. So that's also what lets me think it's an IP, because why even scratch out the title if the title is like a big deal? If this is an original movie, like something new he created that's not based on an old movie, what's the point of erasing the title, right? You could just tell us, oh, the movie, like Jordan Peele, he always tells us the name of his movie when it comes out, Up, Nope, and we never know. That doesn't give us any hint to the plot or what's going on. Showing that title means it's probably a big movie, or else they wouldn't do that. And this also here, it's a modern take on something quite ancient. Now, I will agree, I wouldn't say A Nightmare on Elm Street is necessarily ancient, but you know, the 80s wasn't 20 years ago. That's how I still think of the 80s. Oh, that was just 20 years ago. No, the 80s is now over 40 years ago. It's coming up on 50 years. So that's starting to hit ancient territory in a weird way, and we have not gotten a legitimately good Nightmare on Elm Street movie in a long time. So, yeah, exactly. I'm using my big brain here. 3C overcooked. 3C cooked. Thank you. I like some of y'all. I like that some of y'all. Up. Oh my goodness, you're right. Why did I say Up? I meant Us. My dumbass. Sorry. Us, and Nope. Sorry. I don't know why. I still had Pixar on the brain from earlier today. But anyways, so that's right there. Now, let's ground ourselves to reality, because there really is only like a 2% chance this is Nightmare on Elm Street. For one, I saw some people mention, it says original screenplay. If this was a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, it would have based on or adapted screenplay in there, and it doesn't have that. It says original screenplay. The other thing I think that they were mentioning there is that the rights are still complicated. Since we heard the rumor that they sold the rights, it never got officially confirmed. So that is still definitely holding it back. But I'm like, dude, just let me manifest it, man. It would be so nice. All the ingredients are here for me to be right. New Line Cinema, the word nightmare, something ancient, a modern take. Lee Cronin would also be fantastic for this. Let me see if I can see if he's talked about Nightmare on Elm Street. Evil Dead Rise director would like an Elm Street date. So yeah, he said here he would do that. Returning his focus on the horror genre, the one I would really hard to pass up on would be something in the Nightmare on Elm Street universe. So like, he's talked about it. He wants to do it. Give it to him, Blum. Don't mess us up, man. And I feel like, okay, we even have, if this even does happen and it's with Blumhouse, we do have to talk about it. People don't love the Blumhouse movies all that much. They definitely don't have the best batting average. They come out with amazing films, and then they come out with some real stinkers. And, after what happened with Michael Myers, I don't know if everybody would love Nightmare on Elm Street to do that. But I think they're learning their lesson. They just can't, recopy and paste formulas and do away with half-ass movies to popular franchises because of The Exorcist. The Exorcist, they spent a lot of money on, and they wanted that to be a trilogy. That first movie did not work for them. So what happened? They're going to start from scratch, and they hired a real talent, Mike Flanagan, and they're going to do something bold. I feel like Jason Blum is going to take that Exorcist pain to heart and be like, we can't just make Halloween 2018 for The Exorcist. We can't make Halloween 2018 for Nightmare on Elm Street. Got to do these right. And Lee Cronin would be someone with a vision that could do it. So I know I'm going to be 1,000% wrong. I know it's not happening. But guys, if we don't manifest it, if we don't speak it out into the world, we want Krueger back. how's the studios going to know we want it, right? How are they going to know? Now, the one thing you do have to look forward to is they're said to finally release the 4K of Nightmare on Elm Street, because right now you can only get them on Blu-ray. No 4K, but this year we are getting the 4K, which is also kind of another thing that makes me think Warner Brothers is interested in some Nightmare on Elm Street. If they're willing to make the 4Ks, it's because they know there's people out there who's going to buy that, so there's an audience for it. Give us the dang movie. All right, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. So please let it be Nightmare on Elm Street, but I'm wrong. Either way, whatever it is, with Lee Cronin and what he did with the last movie, I'm down. I'm game. Whatever he does, I'm going to watch it. So could be cool, but hey, if you guys have any other theories on what it could be, I mean, even just that phrase, a modern take on something ancient, I mean, it could be a new Mummy movie for all we know. It could be freaking, but it's Warner Brothers, so they don't have the Universal Monsters, so it can't be Universal Monsters. What's an old Warner Brothers horror movie? I don't know. I'd have to go through their lineup. But hey, there we go. There we go.